LeBron James is really good at basketball. Is that underselling it? Probably. Actually, it definitely is, because even saying LeBron is great at basketball is underselling what he's been able to do. Year in and year out, he's been an unquestioned top 2 player in this league. Up until last season, he was an unquestioned top 3 to 5 player in basketball. He had a near 10-year stretch where he was the unquestioned best player in the world. His longevity as a basketball player is unmatched, and it's going to set standards that can't be reached. And when falling off, or quote-unquote falling off I should say, for you is going from the unquestioned best player in the world to likely still a top 5 player and at the very least a lock for a top 10 player in the world, it really speaks to how special of a player you are. To put what LeBron has done into perspective, let's compare his numbers to what others have done that have played as long as he has in the NBA. He averaged the most points per game in a year 19 season, he averaged the most points per game in a year 18 season, he averaged the second most points per game in a year 17 season, he averaged the second most points per game in a year 16 season, he averaged the most points per game in a year 15 season, and he averaged the third most points per game in a year 14 season. Since his 14th NBA season, he's never had a scoring season below third all time for league year experience. There were 5 players in NBA history, including LeBron, to average at least 26.5 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per game, and 8.1 assists per game in a season. The other 4 are Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, Luka Doncic, and James Harden. You might be wondering why I bring up such a specific stat line for a historical context perspective. Well, a stat line that only 5 players in NBA history have accomplished in a season is what LeBron James has averaged stat line wise since his age 30 season, which is also 8 seasons worth of games. I could talk all day about the numbers, but there is more to talk about with LeBron than just the numbers. I have talked about a lot of the young up-and-coming offensive playmakers in basketball on this channel recently. Well, LeBron has been the apex of what an offensive playmaker is since entering his prime, which is a lot longer ago than I want to admit. He's one of the best passers in NBA history and one of the best scorers in NBA history, which is a rare combination. He uses his scoring gravity to create easier looks for his teammates, and while that's basically a given for every top 2 playmaker, I don't think there is a better player at doing it than LeBron James. In my opinion, it's what has made him the best one-man show player we have ever seen. Now, obviously, the year he has won titles, he has had help, just like every other all-time great has that has won titles. But I find the seasons where he had to be the guy that carried the offense as the only primary option on the team to be interesting as well. And I know this specific season is memed to death because of how much it's talked about on NBA Twitter, but his 2018 season is the best example of how he leverages his scoring gravity to open up his passing game as a one-man show. He does it basically every season of his prime, but 2018 really stood out to me in this regard when watching the tape for this video. The ability to make those around you better as a passer is actually what I believe separates LeBron from other players who had to carry the load on offense for a single season and were able to drag their team to the playoffs. However, that shouldn't take away from his ability as a scorer either. LeBron is a player that has always been able to rely on his freakish athleticism to just be bigger and stronger than everyone else, but as the years have gone on, he's become a much more well-rounded and polished offensive scorer. He still uses his athleticism and strength as the core of his scoring ability, but he's grown into a league-average shooter, and as someone that can punish defenses from going under the screen, even if going under the screen is still by far the best option when defending him. He's a good mid-range shooter, he has a good handle that expands his game as an offensive creator, he can hit shots off the dribble, he has good touch around the basket, he has excellent footwork, he's pretty complete as an offensive scorer at this point, and his quote-unquote flaws on offense are really nitpicks that don't take away or limit what his game is on offense. I mean, he did average 30 plus points a game last season, and has been one of the best scorers basketball has ever seen. Say what you want about LeBron and the team record of the Lakers or the structure of the Lakers roster, but at this point, win totals shouldn't take away from what LeBron is able to accomplish from a statistical perspective, because only 8 players in NBA history have played at least 20 seasons in their NBA career, LeBron will be the 9th player to do it this season. Now, the most ever is Vince Carter at 22 seasons, and on top of this, only 2 players have ever averaged double digits in their 20th or later NBA season, those 2 players being Dirk Nowitzki and Kobe Bryant. Both of them did it in year 20, and both were well below the numbers they were putting up in their prime. LeBron is coming off a season where he averaged 30.3 points per game, and I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff anytime soon. Barring any major injury, which I really hope doesn't happen, LeBron will have by far the best year 20 season ever, by far the best year 21 season ever, and by far the best year 22 season ever. It's very possible we've seen LeBron play the most seasons in NBA history. The contract extension that he signed does suggest that he will at the very least tie it. He is still a top 2 athlete and is going to be 38 years old. That really tells you how special he is as an athlete, and on top of that, his skill set as a player will also help him if his athleticism does see a significant decline, which I don't expect it to see a significant decline that quickly, to be quite honest with you. But he is one of the strongest players the game has ever seen, and has an all-time great passing ability that few can even match, ever. He's one of the smartest players ever, and his feel for the game and skill as a playmaker are off the charts, as well as the physical strength that should allow him to be, at the very least, an effective NBA player for a few more years, and I expect him to still be well above just an effective player. It wouldn't shock me if LeBron retires with something left in the tank, leaving us thinking that he still had a few years left in him. And what makes that even more impressive is that will likely be when he's in his early to mid 40s, which is just insane to think about. LeBron James is the greatest player of my lifetime, and I don't think it's close, to be honest with you. And before any of you old heads say anything in the comment section, I was born in 2001, so I never really got to see Michael Jordan play. Regardless, LeBron being the best player I have ever seen in the moment really says something, because I have seen some great players, generational talents that have transcended the game, and LeBron is at the top of that list of players, and I don't really think it's up for debate. That's how good he has been. I truly don't think we will ever see anything like LeBron again. A player who has made greatness a standard that is another just opportunity and another thing he just does every day. That's how good he is. A player who will shatter all expectations of longevity, and it feels like another Tuesday at the office. I appreciate the greatness of the other players in the league, and the future of the league as well. But at the end of the day, it's going to be weird when LeBron retires, whenever that may be. Alright, that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, so if that's something that interests you, this is the channel for you, and I'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, because those are the 2 ways you can help me the most, help me grow as a platform, so I can make more videos for you guys in the future. And if you want to check out other content that I make that isn't related to basketball, I have a video essay channel where I do long form video essays that are around, 20 to 30 minutes long. So if you want to check out my other side of content creating that isn't related to basketball, link to that channel in the description below and in the pinned comment. 2 videos from that channel will be popping up here. Those videos are from Classroom of the Elite, and one of them is about Scooby-Doo Where Are You? You can click the icon in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already, or check out other videos on my channel, or you can click on the other side here to see a video that YouTube will be recommending from this channel. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.